Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and today we're going to be making some card templates, and I think all the videos this week are going to be relatively simple. We're not doing any fancy folds. I've got a lot of stuff going on, so this will be quick and easy, but these cards can be very useful, especially if you just like to have a stash of cards ready to go. This is the paper pad I've chosen, the Butterfly Garden Stack. It is from 2013. I don't know if I can get that up here high enough. 2013. And I've selected a couple of papers here, so hold on just a moment. Sorry about that. My husband came and rescued the cat. She's having a rough day apparently. So anyway, I've picked out a couple of sheets here, and I've kind of got them marked. That's not my main one. Oops. I'm going to show you the card base first. Now you can always use a plain card base, whether it's plain white or off-white or whatever. But I'm going to use this one because this will make a very nice edge of the card. And then by the time I add my other stuff to it, I think it'll look really nice. So that's one of the pages, but let me show you the card that we're going to do before we go into the rest of this. So this is the card we're going to be making. This is from Klompen Stompers. And this video, and I'll link it below, she actually gives you 4 basic card templates. Now she keeps her templates, she keeps like a box or something to store them in so she can go back through and look at them and figure out what she wants, and she keeps the measurements and everything. But the beauty of Cricut and Design Space is you don't have to do that. You can just look through your online catalog and see what you've got ready to go or whatever. So this is kind of what we're going to be making. We're going to cut it for portrait instead of landscape, but this is what we're going to be making. So let's go back over and I'll show you that one again because I think you'll understand a little bit better what look I'm going for. So this would be the card front over here on this edge. And then we've got to get some extra layers going here. So I've picked out a few that I like. This one for the stripe down the middle. Now I probably am going to adapt the file a little bit. She has used 3 separate strips to make that layered looking stripe in the center of the card. I think I'm just going to cut 1 strip out of this because it's already got these stripes going this way, and there's enough interest on it. I don't think it needs another piece on top of it. The other piece I'm thinking about is we'll need a background piece to go under our sentiment. And I like this one really well, and I think it goes, obviously they all go together, they're in the same paper pad, but it goes nice with this green here. And if I can find the other one again, it also, I think, goes nice with this one. But there is one other green one in here that I could use. I just don't like it as well for this project. The print on it's kind of big. I don't think it's consistent enough, whereas this one I feel is a little bit more consistent. Not even sure that's the right word. So that's what we're going to start with. So I'm going to take these pages out of here. These are 12 by 12, and there are a lot of beautiful papers in here, but these are the ones that we're going to use today. And I will get my Cricut set up and get everything cut out. Now, like I said, you could always just use a plain card base. You don't have to cut it with your Cricut, and sometimes it's easier to just cut an 8.5 by 11 in half, score it in half and fold it, than it is to go through this process. But if you want to use a pretty pattern paper, this is the way to do it. So let's find that last one here real quick. Ooh, knock some stuff off. And hopefully I will have enough contrast on here. I think I will. Alright, so I'm going to cut everything out, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to come back, I'm still doing the wee thing, and put this all together. And I do think, with this is the card base, and then you've got your strip running this way. You could always run it that way. It'll work on some of these, not so much on others. But I want it running like this. I think that'll look nice. And then I'll have my layer here, and I'll put a white layer over the top with a sentiment on it. So let me get that done and I'll be right back. You have your card base, and let's zoom in. You've got your card base, which is optional. You don't have to cut that out. If you've already got card blank bases that you want to use, you can skip that step altogether. Here's the band that she used. I don't know what these score lines are for. I'm going to take a quick look. You know what? I don't need those. I'm just going to delete them. I don't know why they're probably left over from a previous project that I didn't delete everything from because they were hidden. I didn't know they were there. So anyway, this is the stripe. She's got this in 3 parts. 1, 2, and 3. I will probably just make this 1 part all together, which is, now it equals 0.75 inches. So I'm going to duplicate, well, you know what, I'm just going to duplicate one of them, and I'm going to select it, duplicate it, and change it after I take off the lock key here for my proportions and change that to 0.75 because that's really what I want. So I'm definitely going to cut this one. Then I don't need to cut those or those, but I still will cut this and this. And I'm going to cut the card base. I won't need an inside mat because these papers are all white on the back. And I don't think I'm going to need an optional cover mat, so I'm going to get rid of all of this just to make my life look a little easier for now. But you can always cut those out. You have lots of options here, guys. You can weld those 3 strips together if you like. You can cut the 2 outside pieces. You can make that 1 wide piece and then layer another narrower strip over the top. Options. Always got options. So this would then look like, since I'm going to have the tag or the images over here, I'm going to put this over here, and then we'll take and we'll put this somewhere like so, I think. Yeah, I like that. All right, so I'm going to cut this out real quick, and then I will be back. All right, got my card base cut out, and I really like this over here. To be honest, this paper kind of stands alone. You would not even need to put anything else on the front other than maybe a sentiment, just because this is pretty the way it is, I think. If I were going to do that, though, I probably would have used a thicker card base. I don't know what the DCWV pound weight is. It's not 100, but I think it's more than 65. So, you know, it could be a little bit heftier, but I think it'd be okay. So we've got our strip, and we can put this wherever we want. Now, if we didn't have this design over here, I might put that over there, but since we do, I'm going to kind of set it off here to the side a little bit. And then I've got this piece. It will have a background piece of white with some kind of sentiment on it, but I think it's a little big. I think I might want to cut it down a little bit. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. And I'm going to turn this around, make sure I get that facing up. Anyway, there's a lot of versatility with this particular card style. It's not, you know, super fancy like some of the ones I've been doing recently. It's pretty basic, but sometimes that's a good thing. And I thought it was, depending on the paper that you use, you can always, just making sure that's aligned at the bottom. Depending on the paper you use, you can always, you know, add the wow factor. And not just paper. You can use foils, inks, embossing powders, embellishments, you name it. I mean, the possibilities are truly endless. So with this one, maybe I'd set it over this way a little bit because I like it off the edge. There's not too much hiding under there, really. So I could leave it the size that it is. You can still see my butterfly. So what's it hiding under there? Yeah, it's okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and glue this down. And then at some point I will figure out what kind of sentiment I want on this. I think it would be a great birthday card, Mother's Day card, thinking of you card. It's definitely very feminine. At least to me it is. But that doesn't mean that, you know, you have to limit your options. So I'm going to set this, kind of eyeball that along the edge there, and then just press that down. Just want to get that glue pressed out to the edges. It looks like I didn't quite get it straight. Oh no. Oh well, it's down there now. But yeah, that's what we got. Let me zoom out just a little. There we go. So that's what we got. And again, you put your sentiment here on the inside. Boy, I really hate that that's crooked. Like I said, whatever you want. And then you could even add something here on the inside. Now, if you're a stamper and you've got lots of stamps, you've got a big canvas here. If you like to add, if you're digitals and you like to do stickers or cut out ephemera, also a nice place to add a little something extra. I usually add a piece of paper here in the back with my message on it because I can print 4 of those to a sheet. I'm not the best stamper, as I've said before. I prefer digitals just because they're cleaner and I generally do a better job. I mean, look at this. I don't know if you can see, that's crooked and that's going to drive me crazy, and it's not even that bad. It's just me. Now, something else I thought of with these sheets that we have already used, not this one just because they're smaller borders here, but with this one you could cut this out and put this on the inside of a card, this little lip here. With this one, you don't really have much on there to work with, so let's do it with this one. Let me grab out, I'm sorry, I've got so much stuff on my desk. I'm literally working on like 5 different things. Okay, so make sure that's straight. Get a nice clean cut. And actually, if I go this way, then I'll have a little extra to play with. Okay. So then we can take this. Just need to straighten that out a bit. We can take this and we can put it on any of these edges. I kind of like it over here on this one with a little bit of a gap between the actual edge. Oops. To me, I like that extra space there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it down, and then I'll trim it off. Let's turn it this way and this way. Make sure, oh, finger in the glue, finger in the glue. Okay. Come on, slide for me. Okay. That's pretty straight. Straighter than the one on the front anyway. So then I can just trim these edges off. And you've got a little bitty pretty border. Oops, wrong way. You've got a little pretty border here on the edge that matches your ribbon here. Imagine that's a ribbon on the front. So there you go. So you could put any kind, now this is too big, this is just what's laying on my desk, but you could put any kind of shape over that with your sentiment. This is light enough that if you're using a strong black ink, you could even stamp over the top of it if you've got a big enough stamp. You could also emboss over the top of it. So lots of different ways to finish this, but just for a basic card, I like it. I think it's cute. I love butterflies and flowers. Again, it's very simple. The back is even nice, which you can't see. There you go. It's foiled. Got a little bit of texture to it, which does kind of show through on the inside. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but you can see all the little dots in person. So this is a great way to use up your paper pads as well. And it's easy to make things match because you're using a paper pad where everything was designed to match, right? So I'm going to wrap this one up until the next video. Like I said, these next few are going to be pretty quick. At the end of the week, I'll do a preview of all of the ones that we completed, but they're going to be pretty quick little ones because I've got so much going on right now. I've got 2 baby showers. I've got some stuff for a couple of organizations that I'm a member of, as well as wanting to take care of some of this stuff. So just got a lot on my plate right now, but we'll get some stuff out there. It's just going to be simple stuff, but you can do what you want with it. Okay, you could have even inked around the edges, and I meant to, I forgot, inked around those edges, and then, or even foiled the edges. That would have looked nice if I had thought of it sooner. All right, guys, till next time, this is George, and I hope you have a happy crafty day.